So we are live. Yes, we are live. So let's wait for a few of you to come in. Hi, Evie at the side. So if you are jumping on, just pop a little message inside for me to have a look. So I'm going to give it a minute to see if anyone else jumps on, and then we're going to get going. So we're going to keep this a shorter one than we did last week, because last week got quite lengthy. So we're going to try and keep it quite a short one this week. So we'll just give it a minute or two, see who jumps on. I can see there's a couple of you at the top, so just whack me a little message in the side so I know who we have. So another second and we'll get going. It's just a couple of things to talk about. So if you have any questions at all, remember, pop them in the side again for me to have a look at, and I'll get all of those answered for you. Just give it another 45 seconds. Just jumping up a little bit, just put a message in the side so I can see who we've got. So we will get started now, because anyone that isn't here, I'll send a link out to so that you can make sure you can access this later on. So another quick reminder, I'm going to do this every week so that it definitely remember our blue book, our grey book, drums 1 and drums fundamentals. You can still pick those up from us. Just give us an email. I know we got an email earlier on from one of you who hasn't had a response from me yet. So you will get a response from me later on today. And we'll make sure that we can sort you out with a book. So anyone that still doesn't have them, please try and be picking these up, because we still don't have a time for when we're going to get back to normal. So having these to hand is really, really going to help us. So another reminder about that, first of all. So also, I've got a couple of things I wanted to talk about. So I did send out for parents a basics of reading drum kit notation, reading music. So I did send that one out with the lessons on Monday. So you should have all got that lesson on Monday, as well as your lesson that you would usually get. At the moment, do we need the other? So if you've just got the blue one is perfectly fine. We do look at the grey one a little bit. So I'm just trying to think, Evie, whether we will look at it in the next few lessons. Give me a second and I can have a look at what I've got planned for you. No. So Evie, I wouldn't say that you definitely need this one. I've just had a look at what we're working towards across the next few lessons for you in particular. And we won't be looking at this a great deal. Anything that we do look at from this, I can put into the videos if you didn't want to pick it up. However, this is a standalone book, not tied in with this one. So all of the exercises in this will carry you through from now until you decide not to have lessons, which will be when you're a lot better than I am. So some of these patterns in here is still stuff that I can be working on. So it is a very, very, very useful book to have. So let me find a page for example. So page 39, no, sorry, page 35. That's the page I was looking for. So page 35 has a lot of the combinations that we're used to looking at. Hopefully you can kind of see that. So this book is just single line exercises. So when we're building a lot of our fill bars or deciding where we want to put things on the drums, we play the Coca-Cola. Instead of playing it right, left, we could look at playing it right, left. And I know we've looked at that in the past. So having this book would mean that you could do a lot of learning yourself at home and take it upon yourself to kind of expand your knowledge or expand the ways that you think about things. page 37 going across there, that becomes a little bit more difficult where it starts including rests. So that one there, we could look at creating fill bars with some of those, or you could run it as an exercise where you put just the rest ands onto toms and things like that, and it would really help your creativity. But like I said, we're not going to look at anything within our lessons from this book in the next few weeks at least. But if you do pick one up, you'll be able to test yourself on a lot of stuff or push yourself at home with your creativity and just moving things around the drums and figuring out what you like the sound of and figuring out what you don't like the sound of, and kind of building a style for yourself away from everything that we cover in the lessons. I hope that makes sense. Thanks, that's great. So yeah, so like I said, it is a very, very helpful one to pick up. Like some of these bars, when you get further on into the back, get very, very busy. Let me find that one, for example. That's a very, very difficult page. And that things that I could use personally as well to help my creativity and the way that I think about things on the kit. Because you do kind of end up going down a certain path and you'll find your own sound, but doing exercises like this that push you to make you think about different things, they can be very, very helpful in creating our own sound and being ourselves as a musician. So as I was saying, there was a extra lesson sent out last week, which was the basics of reading music and drum kit notation specifically. I did get asked to break down a little bit more how our teas got into our coffees, got into our Coca-Colas, and I drew that one out there, which hopefully you can see. Hopefully the camera flips it round so that it makes a little bit more sense and the notes are facing the right way. But we have that one there, which is our little pyramid. That is our tea there, which splits down into 2 notes, which is our coffee, which each of those splits into 2 notes, which makes up our Coca-Cola there. So that's our best way of describing how that breaks up. And I did the same with the rest at the bottom. So we've got a 4-beat rest there, which splits into 2 half-beat rests. So obviously, usually we could get rid of this second hit here, and we would put our second half of our coffee in there, and that would be our rest and pattern for those of you that have got that far and have looked at that. So hopefully that was helpful for those of you that did question how that kind of breaks up and just wanted a little bit of an easier explanation to it. So the one thing I did want to speak about a little bit, let me move this because I'm not going to need this now. So the one thing I did want to speak about a little bit was staying inspired, staying very, very excited about playing and advancing and getting to the next step and getting better and improving. So I understand that a lot of you that might not necessarily have a kit to play, or might not have the option of looking into getting a kit and are just working from practice pads, or maybe are still working on legs in 4 different sections. It can be a difficult time right now because usually we would get quite a lot of time in our lessons to be on an actual drum kit, to be playing, to be able to hear everything properly. And that there is a very, very exciting thing and helps us stay inspired and helps us want to push forward and get better so that we can use all of this stuff that's in front of us. So at the moment, if we don't have that to our disposal, we're going to have to find a different way of staying inspired and wanting to progress further and wanting to get better so that we can play certain things. And what I wanted to talk about was finding drummers in your own sound. What you'll find is many professional players have their own sound, and to a certain extent you can almost identify each one just by listening to them. So there's certain drummers that I listen to and I wouldn't have to be told who it was or be able to see the kit or know who it was. But if I was to listen to them, I would be able to go, okay, well, that is this person. So what we want to do is find those people that we really enjoy listening to. Maybe they play for a band that we really like. So maybe we find out who our favorite band's drummer is, and we have a look at that, and we have a look at some of their videos. So you're on YouTube at the moment, so we have access to YouTube. So YouTube is a very, very good tool for this. So maybe you just want to listen to some more music than normal, or maybe you want to start finding some bands that are like the bands that you listen to or like the artists that you listen to already. And what that's going to do is that's going to help us and it's going to inspire us. So maybe there's this song that we really, really like, and I wish I could play it on the drums. And that's the feeling that we want to get. We want to get that feeling of, I really wish I could do this. And that's really going to want us to push for this and to get a lot better. So an example for me, I've got a book right here, which is by a guy called Mark Juliana. Mark Juliana is one of my favorite drummers, one of my biggest inspirations, a guy that I have been to see 3 times. Yeah, 3 times. So I found those people, and when I watch those videos, even at the point that I'm at now, where I've been playing a very, very long time, and it's what I do for a job, and it is my life, there is still those people that I listen to and I go, well, I really wish I could do that. I really wish I could play this, or I really wish I was better at this. And that's the goal that I want to set for you guys for this week. So when I send the link out to you all later on today, I'm going to put a couple of questions in there, and I want to try and get a response from as many of you as possible. So what I want you to be doing is finding either bands that you like, or if you don't listen to a lot of music, it can just be drummers. So there is thousands and thousands of drummers making videos and content and putting that out on YouTube, for example, for you to take a look at. And that is really, really going to inspire us to get better if we can find those people that we listen to and we go, that is amazing. It blows our mind, especially right now if we're not able to access drum kits and we're just using hands on legs or sticks on a practice pad, and that's all we have. We want to try and keep that enthusiasm up and that excitement up and stay as inspired as possible. So I just used Mark Juliana as an example there, one of my favorite drummers. I could list quite a few, like JP Bouvet is another one that for the last few years has made me rethink a lot of the stuff that I do and made me think about the drum kit in a totally different way. And I really want you to find some of those people. So in the link that I send out later on today, I'd like a response, if possible, from as many of you that to say that you have found this person and you're listening to this person's playing, or you really, really enjoy this band and this song is your favorite song. And what it'll help me to do as well is point your lessons in a direction where we are playing to music that you enjoy a lot more, or learning things that will help you get to a certain point. Can you put those drummers' names on the email too, Sam? Yeah, so that'll be for Ben, won't it? So yes, I can put those in there. Sorry, my screen's just gone dark. So yes, I can put those names in there. I will put in a massive list of drummers to check out. So guys like Benny Greb, I don't have it here, I just turned around to my snare, but my snare from all of my studio clips, all the lessons you get, that is his signature snare drum. A guy that I have seen play a lot of times, he's really, really good. Guys like Chris Coleman, who I've played on stage with, getting to do these things really, really pushes your, it really keeps you enthusiastic about it and really really makes you want to push yourself. That's the words I was trying to get out. So yeah, I will put all of those names in with the link and with the questions. What I want you to do is listen to those and figure out who your favorites are, maybe watch a couple of videos. Or I know some of you used to come into the lessons and tell me about all the videos you've been looking at and how does this person do this, or why does this person set up their kit in that way? And those are the questions that we want to be asking ourselves, because if we can get ourselves to the point where we're that interested in how this person does something, or how this person goes about doing this, or why somebody goes about doing this, it's going to keep us thinking about the instrument in different ways, away from just that, okay, well, this lesson I've been set this, and thinking about it maybe as homework or something that we have to do, a path we have to be following. But it will help you to stay as enthusiastic as possible. And that's really what we want in a time like this. So hopefully that's all making sense to you all. I'm going to put, like I said, I'm going to put all of those names into the email. A lot of my biggest inspirations, people I still look at, and question what they're doing and really wanting to go into depth about this stuff. There is people on YouTube that would be very, very inspiring to you at an early stage as well. So there's people like, I'm thinking like Cooper Drummer puts drum covers on YouTube. There's a lot of drum cover guys out there who do make a living from playing other people's music. They learn the songs, they put them on YouTube, and they play them so energetically with loads of stick tricks and everything, and they make their entire living doing that, which is incredible for a start. But there's those guys that might be playing things that are a little bit easier, which you might relate to a little bit more, because most of you started with me end of September towards the end of last year, and you're reaching your grade 1 kind of standard. And those people, if you're looking up to that kind of person, it's going to make you want to push to be able to play those things, because you can see what they're doing. Their right hand pattern and their left hand pattern is stuff that we've already been covering. Yes, isn't she? I'm just trying to think. Is she the one that did the Argos advert? The Christmas Argos advert. She had her drum teacher and her, and they were playing the little basic junior kit. I think, yes, it was, yeah. So she is actually really good. She's what I'm talking about, the drum cover kind of side of everything. She plays other people's songs. She, like you say, she's only 9. So she's your age group for a lot of you. So it's a great thing to look at what they're doing and go, okay, well, that's obviously really achievable. I could very easily be doing that. Looking at what their right hand's doing, their left hand is doing, and going, okay, well, I'm playing that pattern already with an 8-beat groove, because I know every single one of you watching this can play me an 8-beat groove because we've done it. So if you can do that, maybe it's just the right foot that's changing, and you go, okay, well, that's what I really want to push for. And then you can tell me, and that's what we can be covering, as well as everything else. I'm more than happy to throw little videos in for specific people who might have a favorite song, and I go, okay, well, actually, you can play this song, and I'm more than happy to teach you it. So I want you to have a look at stuff like that. So as well as looking at drummers, which is what I was just on about, listening to music, you don't necessarily have to play exactly what the drummer is playing in your favorite band or in your favorite song. So maybe you're listening to, you've got the radio on, or you've got this song that you have stuck in your head all the time and you really, really enjoy listening to it, and I wish I could play it on the drums. You can play an 8-beat groove, which I can almost guarantee will fit. It might not be exactly what they're playing, but I can guarantee you it fits. And if you can get yourself playing to those songs, that's going to help you stay very, very enthusiastic about it. Say you feeling a little bit like tired or drained after you've just done some of our lesson content, and it might have been a little bit difficult for you, you might have struggled for it. I don't think any of you would, but I'm using this as an example. I think you're all absolutely smashing everything so far. I know a lot of you are sending me videos in of everything that you're doing, and you are all getting on very, very, very well with the content. But maybe just this one bit really, like you really, really struggled with this one bit of it. You got over it and you learned it, and now you can do it. But maybe you want that pick-me-up. So you put your favorite song on, and it doesn't matter that you're playing different to what their drummer is playing, but if you're playing to that song, it's going to keep you a lot happier playing, as well as finding inspiration in other drummers as well. So I'm hoping that all makes sense to you. I know it's a little bit of a different topic than we usually cover in our YouTube lives. Usually we look at our technique and our actual playing, but I think at this point where we've been in lockdown and we've all been stuck in our houses for weeks and weeks and weeks, and even myself finding it difficult to stay motivated and inspired to learn stuff, I think finding those drummers who you look up to and you go, okay, well, those are doing this crazy, crazy thing. I want to get to that point. That's really going to help you stay motivated. It's going to keep you wanting to learn. And that is at the end of the day what we want to be aiming for. So hopefully all this makes sense. If you have got any questions at all, pop them in the side for me. I can see there's still a few of you here, so pop them in the side for me and I'll get those answered, whether it was anything to do with your lessons that you received on Monday. I know a lot of you, if I just double check very quickly, because I've got this file down here. So this week, a lot of you were looking at all of those different grooves, or song 4 or song 5 or song 2. So a lot of you are at quite a fun point learning songs, whether it's song 2, 4 or 5, or whether you was looking at our different groove combinations. You're all roughly in that same point. So if you've got any questions about that at all, please pop them in the side. Or maybe it's a question about what we'll be moving on to next, and whether there's anything that we can do at home to help. Just put that in the side. I'm going to give it a minute or two for you to have a think, and I'll leave it at that if not. So it doesn't look like we're getting anywhere, but I'll give you another second. So no questions coming through, so we'll start to wrap it up. One last thing I wanted to say is keep those videos coming in at the moment. So Ben in the side is an amazing example for this. Ben sends me videos every single week after our lesson, and he is coming on incredibly well, to the point where we have started a little student spotlight on our Facebook page, where we're going to start putting videos of students, obviously with parents' permission. We won't put you up there if you're not happy to be on there, but I have put Ben forward for student of the week for me, because he keeps posting, he keeps sending me videos and he keeps improving, and it's so obvious that he's putting a lot of time into practice. So keep those videos coming into me. Those of you that still haven't sent any in, please try to. I know some of you might not necessarily want to send videos across, and that's perfectly fine. But if you're fine sending videos across, please do, because it's going to help me to make sure that you're on the right path, that you haven't missed any parts of the lessons, that you don't need to go back and recover anything, but it's going to help. What's that saying aside? Thanks, John. I'm loving it from Ben. Great. It's great to hear. It's good feedback for me as well, because I sit and I watch myself do these lessons, and I sit and listen to myself talking all day whilst I'm putting all these videos together. And it's good to have the feedback like that, or it's good to see that the message has got across, that the content has got across to all of the students, because it's all well and good me understanding the videos, but I'm the one teaching it. So of course I understand the videos, but we've got to make sure that you definitely understand the videos as well. So the YouTube live that we're doing now, great opportunity to ask any questions. I'd take it as a good thing that you don't have any questions about any of this stuff. I'd take that you understand everything that you've been getting. But please try and send as many videos as possible for us to take a look at. I do send feedback for them all. If I don't get back to you straight away, it's because we're only a couple of days away from Monday, and I'll put your feedback in with your lesson notes for the next week, instead of sending multiple emails about. But you will definitely get feedback from me on every video you send in. So please keep those coming. And until then, I'll leave it at this, guys. So make sure you're practicing plenty, and best of all, enjoy. Thank you, guys.